right, we'll get started. The tape is rolling. Good afternoon. Welcome to the County of Oswego Industrial Development Agency public hearing for a project known as Novelis Corporation. I will start the meeting by reading a description of the project, then give a brief summary of the benefits that the company has applied for from the IDA. And at that time, I'll open up the meeting for questions and comments. So here we go. Novelis Corporation, a business corporation organized and existing under the laws of the state of Texas and authorized to do business in the state of New York, submitted an application to the agency on or about June 18, 2021 as amended, a copy of which is on file at the office of the agency. The application requested the agency consider undertaking a project consisting of A1, the acquisition or continuation of a leasehold interest or sub-leasehold interest in or license to all or a portion of approximately 509 acres of improved real property, being part of various parcels of certain real property located at 448 County Route 1A in the town of Scriba, New York, Oswego County. A2, the renovation and reconstruction of and construction of an approximately 46,500 square foot addition to an existing building known as the future cold mill. This is located on the land. A3, the construction of A, an approximately 15,700 square foot building to be known as the hot mill coolant house. B, an approximately 10,000 square foot building to be known as the West Locker building. C, an adjacent 94,000 square foot parking lot. And D, an approximately 45,000 square foot semi-truck parking area to be known as the West Side Truck Bullpen, all located on the land. A4, upgrades to existing facilities and associated infrastructure throughout the land. And A5, the acquisition and installation in the facility and in certain other buildings located on the land of various machinery, equipment, furnishings, and other tangible personal property. B, the granting of certain financial assistance in the form of exemptions from real property taxes, real estate transfer taxes, mortgage recording tax, and state and local sales and use tax. C, the appointment of the company and or its designee as an agent of the agency in connection with the acquisition, construction, reconstruction, renovation, and equipping of the project facility. And D, the lease or sublease of the land and the facility by the company to the agency pursuant to a lease agreement, the acquisition of an interest in the equipment pursuant to a bill of sale, and the sublease of the project facility back to the company pursuant to a sublease agreement. The company will be the initial owner and operator of the project facility. The agency has not yet made a decision with respect to the undertaking of the project or the granting of the financial assistance. This project is on the agenda for the agency's next meeting, which will be held on Tuesday, October 18th at 10 a.m. The meeting will be held in person at the agency's office located at 44 West Bridge Street in the city of Oswego. So that is the project description. I would like to give a summary of the benefits the company has applied for. You've heard in the project description reference to a lease or a sublease. This is the structure the IDA uses to instill its benefits on a company through a lease-back transaction that allows certain exemptions to be passed on to the company. So what that all means is one of the large benefits the company has asked for is a sales tax exemption from New York and county sales tax, the full 8% in other words. When a manufacturer expands, of course the equipment is generally exempt through manufacturing exemptions. The IDA exemption covers anything else that would otherwise be taxable for the project, but only for the project. So this could be building materials, primarily building materials, but it would also be furniture and fixtures and other things that are installed inside the buildings. And all the HVAC equipment, et cetera, that would otherwise be taxable, lighting, et cetera. So the company has asked for $3.8 million of sales tax exemptions, which is, of course, a significant sales tax exemption, but we have to, this is a $339 million project altogether, which will stretch over 4 years, I think it's safe to say. In addition, the IDA is considering putting a pilot in place on a parcel. The parcel will be made up of there's three buildings and then the truck bullpen that will be constructed as part of this project, the three buildings I mentioned in the description. There will likely be other construction at the site and other buildings, small buildings, support buildings, for example, pump houses and valve houses and things of that nature. These three buildings we've identified will be part of the pilot, the land around those buildings. The other buildings are here and there about the plant, so they won't necessarily be on the land subject to the pilot, But the sales tax exemptions could be used throughout the entire plan for the entire project. That's how this is structured. And the pilot will be similar in structure to what we've done, the IDA has done at Novelis in the past. There are 3 existing pilot agreements related to expansions over the last 10 years or so, which have helped the company continue to expand there and up to and including this project. With this one parcel, we'll create a sub-parcel which will include the 3 buildings referenced in the project description and the truck bullpen. And that parcel will be the subject of the pilot. It won't be really a legal subdivision. It'll be somewhat of what we call a courtesy subdivision done by the assessor to split those pieces of the larger parcel off. They become exempted by the IDA, and then Novelis will instead pay a pilot based on our manufacturing UTEP, which is a schedule of declining abatement percentages over 20 years. The assessor will determine the assessed value, and then this will be an exemption of the normal taxes from that assessed value, declining step by step over the 20 years. So that's pretty much the benefits. Another benefit that's often included in the IDA package is mortgage recording tax exemptions. The company has not applied for that in this case. So with that being said, I'll open it up for questions or comments.
Question?
Not really. When do you expect construction to start?
Construction on the locker room building has started. On the cold mill addition, we anticipate next year, late spring, and the cooling house, hopefully sooner, early spring. For those those are the major pieces of property that are being added. The paving, the parking lot he's referring to has started.
The bullpen will be next year.
And the bullpen will be next year. So for the big major pieces, that's the time frame. There's a lot of equipment that goes into that, and completion, I think for the major portions of what he discussed is around the mid-August of FY24, but there's some ancillary pieces that'll go up, pump house buildings and things like that he was referring to that'll take place throughout the year to follow. So there's a lot of planned work up there. They're really, really expanding.
You've asked, go ahead.
Yeah, I thought it'd be helpful to introduce myself.
Yes, yeah, please do.
I'm John Piscatelli. I've worked with Novelis since 2010. I only have about 12 years there, but I have about 30 years experience in doing projects similar to this magnitude. And I'll tell you, one of the things that I think is just admirable of this organization is the amount of investment they put into it is huge. I've had 5 jobs in my life. This is my 5th one, and none of them have been this willing to invest capital. So it's really a good thing for this area. So,
Thanks.
I don't know, does that answer a question?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep.
Could you introduce
Yeah,
yourself as well?
Casey Bunce, I'm a civil engineer, project manager under John in our projects group.
Great, thanks, Casey. And John, in the application, the company has estimated 54 kind of full-time construction jobs throughout this project for the next four years, basically, and not necessarily the same people, but equivalent of 54. Yeah, that's a pretty solid
Oh, yeah.
investment in the temporary construction workforce, at least.
It may be a little more because of schedule.
Yeah, sure.
You know,
Mhm.
so the way to defeat that is put more people in the job
Right.
without it becoming too unsafe.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's probably a good accurate estimate.
Great.
So
I have a question. Does apprenticeship language apply to this project?
From the IDA standpoint, no, it doesn't. No. Good question, thank you.
Yep. You have any other questions?
Anything
We're
else?
easy.
All right, well,
you guys are with the carpenters?
Yeah.
I saw it on the sign-in sheet. Well,
Yeah.
you might be having some more work in your area.
We're looking forward to it.
There's a lot of building going on, so
Yep.
it's a very positive thing. So
okay, any other questions or comments?
No, I was just gonna comment, I was telling
Please.
Kevin before the meeting, I've done quite a lot of work out to Novelis myself previously.
okay,
I used to work for Demet Construction all the time.
okay, yeah. Well, there's a lot of carpentry work gonna be happening over the next couple of years for sure. It's not just, it's iron workers, it's, it's a whole host of things. So, pipe fitter work.
Yeah. including, the project even includes an additional or an expansion of the substation, as I understand.
There has already been we eliminated our old substation, which was a 60 MVA substation, and we've put in a new one, which is an 80 MVA substation, and now we are adding to our northwest substation, which was put in for the cash lines, to add even more power.
Okay, great,
So-
thanks for clarifying.
Yeah, it's, you know, the one of the pieces of this project is to upgrade our reversing motor, which is the largest motor in our plant, from a 6,000 horsepower motor to a 9,000 horsepower motor. There's two of them, so it goes from 12 to 18,000. We can't use all that,
Mm-hmm.
but they're planning for the future. And by bringing that motor in of that size, it provides a common spare with our Logan facility in the south,
I see.
which is
Mhm.
really a big deal, because you can't just go out and buy one of these motors. They're like a minimum 12 to 18 month lead time, you know, to get one of them, so.
I can imagine, they don't keep them on the shelf.
No, it's extremely specialized, and it's a 125 ton motor, it's, you know, they're massive. So, to support that, we're doing these upgrades electrically, so.
Gotcha. Great, thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions or comments?
I'm good.
Okay, well, thank you all for attending. I'll turn off the tape now. Meeting is adjourned.
Okay, thank you, guys. You said the next one is Tuesday, October 18th?
So